guys, good morning. Okay, so today actually we got together with one of my friend here, okay, for a special video just for you guys, okay. Because in my mind, yeah, I've been thinking about something and which I share with my friend here. His name is Chin Yao, by the way.
Hi, hi.
Yeah, so we actually got up really early on a Sunday morning, okay, just for you, okay, to answer some of the questions. Now, because actually we two actually bought the same car, okay, just a slightly different variant, and it's actually the latest Myvi, okay, the third generation Myvi, and for myself, I bought the slightly lower version. I bought the 1.3X, and you got the 1.5H,
Yes.
right? And the question is that a lot of people actually, when they go to the showroom, they will shove the highest spec Myvi, and then you get to test drive the highest spec Myvi. But the question is, do the 1.3 variants drive as good as the 1.5, okay, that you test in the showroom? So today we're gonna break it down to you and share with you what both of us actually think of the difference between the 1.5 and the 1.3, and as well as we'll look at some of the difference, the cosmetics or maybe the interiors. What are the differences between the two different variants that we have got here today? Okay, so let's jump right into it. Okay, so this is the front look of the third generation Myvi. Or for those who have not seen it, okay, I think it's a surprise because there are so many of these cars on the road. So obviously you can see the major difference between my friend's one, which is the purple. What's the color of the purple again?
Mystic purple.
Mystic purple. Okay, actually I think the color looks really good in person, especially under the sunlight. Hopefully later we'll show some of the colors under the sun. I can see right now already actually around this area it looks pretty good. Yep. And for mine, okay, I just have the normal silver. Of course, this is not my car. For those who have seen my video, you know this is not my car. I will go for a more colorful choice in my car choices. Alright, so this is my wife's car, but this is the 1.3 X, okay, the highest variant for the 1.3 engine Myvi, okay. And then of course there's another one that is a little bit higher than this 1.5, which is the 1.5 AV. That comes with the Perodua ASA 2.0 now, okay, which actually has a, I think, front camera, okay, for the pedestrian crash prevention or something like that. I can't remember what's the name already. Okay, so but the major difference here that we can see is, number one, the rims. Okay, so from the outlooks, it's the rims. All right, I think the rim is actually nicer lah. The 1.3 one is just normal rims, and besides, this is actually a 14-inch. That's a 15-inch. Okay, plus the tires actually is a little bit wider on the 1.5 variant, which is another reason why actually we want to check out. Really, is there a difference in terms of the driving? Because number one, the 1.5 has a slightly bigger CC engine. The power output is a little bit more, okay, and the tires are a little bit wider. So in my thinking, the first thing is that the vehicle, the 1.5, will actually drive a little bit better, but the 1.3 will lose out a little bit in terms of the stability when it comes to the cornering, okay. And then for another cosmetic add-on, okay, for the 1.5, it does have the lower lip here, which is added on, but for the 1.3 it doesn't have, okay. So whether you like it or not is up to your own preference. For me, adding on the lip will make the car looks a little bit more aggressive, a little bit lower ground clearance compared to your 1.3, as you can see here. Okay, so let's go around the vehicle. Basically, there's really nothing much else that is different. Okay, both cars actually come with the keyless entry, all right, which is the button type one if you have not seen it. Okay, but right, another point to add on actually for the 1.3H, or actually sorry, not the 1.3, the 1.5 variants, they actually have a spoiler as a standard compared to the 1.3. So as you can see here, so the 1.5 actually is trying to make the vehicle look a little bit sportier. Okay, so I think overall the package for the 1.5 does look much better compared to your 1.3. Of course, not everybody is keen to look at this kind of to have this kind of looks on their vehicle, so they may opt for this. But what we really want to find out is the driving and see whether there is a difference or not. All right, so let's now check out the difference in the interior. So basically there's really no difference for the interior, but for those who have not yet actually have the chance to visit the showroom to have a look at the car, so here we are to show you the interior of the car. Okay, of course you do get a lot of pictures on their website for Perodua as well. So this is the same steering that you get for both variants. Okay, of course I think if it's the 1.5 AV, you do get a little bit more functions, controlling some other functions that they have on the vehicle. All right, but basically you can control basically your audio here, volumes, and of course different mode, your radio, FM, and USB, and so on. And this is instrument cluster here, so with a center, I believe it's actually either LCD or LED, I can't remember now. Okay, so here's how it looks. Very modern look. I mean, much more modern compared to the older generation of Myvi. Of course, there's nothing super fantastic over here, huh? So even if you want to change the information that you need, you still need to use this more traditional thing here. Now, because this Perodua is still, after all, a sub brand of Toyota, so you do see a lot of familiarity between Toyota and the Perodua vehicles here. Okay, so okay, this is noisy. Right. Then for the radio part, so because only the highest variant does get these, you know, with the touchscreen and all that. So the rest of them, they actually got something like this, which personally, I don't mind. Okay, touchscreen to me is a bit of a hassle, especially when you're driving and you're trying to fumbling everything. So button to me is still a little bit better because you can just straight away feel it and then you can press what you need there. Now, the only gripe I have, I guess, with this head unit is that the Bluetooth don't really work. I'm not sure whether it's I'm not doing it right or what. But for those actually who own the vehicle, maybe you all can share with me how you connect your Bluetooth, because I've been trying with my wife's phone, with my phone, with everybody's phone I can find, but it just doesn't connect. Maybe it's my head unit's problem, maybe it's not. Okay, over here, down here, you do have the front parking sensors. Now this is only available for the highest variant of the 1.3 and as well as the 1.5. okay, and then of course you have your locking control here, central lock. All right, so for the fan, these are, I mean, for the aircon blower, these are all the controls. Okay, now Perodua has actually you know, being a local company, of course they are pretty considerate for Malaysians, because you see here there's two memory. So you know, Malaysians, we actually, our car sometimes is parked under the sun and all that. When you get in the car, what you want to do is you want to turn up the fan speed maximum, okay, maximum coldness. So instead of, you know, having to press here and then having to press here, they give you two memories here. So the moment you jump in the car, example, today is a hot day, press 2, maximum blast. Okay, then if you are feeling cold, you can set this as the lower setting, so you don't have to go through the buttons here. Otherwise, you can always you know, press the buttons here, you know, according to the fan speed that you need. Okay, so for my version, okay, this is the auto one. There's also a manual one if you are the kind of kaki for go for manual, but because my wife doesn't want to drive a manual, so we have to get the auto. So there's a charging port over here. Okay, there's a I think this is a 5-volt socket if I'm not wrong. Yeah, some storage spaces here. Okay, some storage spaces here. Cup holders. Okay, the cup holders I do feel is a bit low and not so suitable for drivers. It's more maybe meant for the back passenger. I mean, it'd be quite funny if, let's say, it'd be quite funny if, let's say, I'm driving and then, you know, I have to lift my hand off the steering wheel and reach to the back for the cup or whatever it is I'm drinking. And if you really look at it, the wall is very low, so for some tall cups, your grande or whatever it is, it probably there's a risk of it always falling. So I don't really think this is that great. Okay, perhaps some improvement can be done there. All right. And over here, okay, so the 1.3 X variant does come with the auto start stop, which is the reason why I got the car at the 1.3X is because of this thing. Personally, I'm a believer of auto start stop, although I know some people do not enjoy it, but it is a great feature to help you save on your fuel consumption. Okay, of course you can turn off the this VSC. Of course, again, I don't believe why you should turn it off. All right, and then some electrical adjustable mirror over here. some extra storage, which actually for us we use for touch and go, as well as your, you know, your maybe you are staying in a condo apartment or your gated community, so you can use that. Okay, and then on the door trim, there's a little bit of padded soft material here, just, you know, just some cloth over some plastic. All right. Okay. Another thing is that, of course, I find the design of the center console actually is rather pleasing to the eye. Okay, it's a huge step up. In fact, a lot of people, let's say, you know, they are just come and checking out this car, just by showing you the center console over here, this design is actually very nice. Okay, with some I don't know what is this, satin coated plastic material here, but still, you know, it's very nice gloss black here. Again, you know, if you watch my video, I'm not a fan of gloss black, you know, piano black kind of material, because it does attract a lot of dust. As you can see, this is just washed yesterday, so you can see a clean car, but it's already, you know, quite dusty and all that. Okay, so yeah, sorry, I forgot to tell you there's a USB port here as well. Okay, so if you need to connect your MP3s or whatever, you can do so, but for some reason it doesn't link my phone when I connect to the USB port over here. Okay, as for the seat, actually it's pretty okay, decent. I wouldn't say it's as body hugging as my Iris, but for day-to-day, I mean just a daily drive, this is all right if you don't take it too harsh. Okay, now the rear is actually pretty okay. You know, they have some hooks here, there's some hooks there. Now this is actually, I find this really handy, especially example after you have gone to, you know, shopping and all that, and then you have a lot of things, but you should not be leaving them on the floor. So what do? Hook them over here. These hooks are pretty sturdy, good for, you know, some heavy duty stuff here. If you need something heavier, if you have something heavier that you want to hang, you can always hang here. Of course, I know Perodua had this because at the time there was a lot of snatch theft in Malaysia, so they have actually created this as like a security lock for you to hang your bag, so people cannot snatch it easily. Now on the driver's side of the chair, okay, you do have an extra USB charging port here, okay, for the passengers at the rear. Now that's all you get for the rear passengers. Okay, door bins are, well, it's a little bit small, but you know, I think it's pretty sufficient. So these are actually for the passengers, okay, but I believe this is shared between the front and the rear. So like I mentioned earlier, you know, it's actually pretty shallow, so you can see it's about until about here. So if you have a very tall cup or something like a Red Bull can, sorry guys, this is probably not good enough for you. Okay, you will just fall over. Now as you can see, I also have a child safety seat over here installed at the rear. So if you find there's a need for you to install a child safety seat, a good position is always diagonally across from the driver's seat. Okay, now again, as usual, please check with your manufacturer's recommendation whether you should or should not use whatever category of the child safety seat. Like for this particular seat I have over here, now this is a Kiko Next Fit, I think so, all right, but I know it's a Kiko. Now this vehicle comes with ISOFIX on the rear outer seats, okay, but as you can see, I'm actually using belt to lock down this seat. The reason being because this particular seat is actually more to the US standard, so their ISOFIX, I mean this particular seat is not recommended to fit in the ISOFIX due to its class, okay, for this seat. So that's one thing for everybody to note. Okay, and just looking at the rear here, okay, so same as all the this Toyota. Okay, so you have your middle seat belt neatly tucked up over here. I do find this quite good. Okay, I'm an advocate of you know, seat belt wearing thing, okay, even if you are seated at the rear, because if you have not noticed, just to share with you, the rear seats are actually where it is the least safe. Okay, a lot of people think that, okay, I'm seated at the rear, okay, I'm seated at the rear, so I have my seat here to stop me, okay, in case it has a crash, but not really, guys. Okay, if you go and check out all the NCAP test report, you will find that the rear seats is actually where they have the lowest protection, where they have the lowest survival, potential. So it is always better if you have your seatbelt on with you to protect yourself. But in a small car like this, you do not have the luxury to place all the seatbelts on the seats there. Okay, so it's good that they actually hang it up here. Okay, they hang it up there, so they actually declutter the space. So you only pull it out and put it on when you need it. Alright. The seats are actually slightly adjustable in terms of your sitting angle. So I think you can adjust here. Of course, this is mainly to pull down the seat, but you can also use it to adjust your angle. Okay, so like this is pretty upright. Okay, and you can actually put it down a little bit. So pretty thoughtful of Toyota. Okay, but I'm gonna share my experience. Sitting at the rear is probably the least comfortable for this car, due to the high body roll. Okay, I don't really enjoy it. I prefer to sit at the front for this car. Okay, but for both sides of the seat, you can also adjust the angle. Okay, so I have to put up this straight due to the requirement to put on my child safety seat. Okay. Alright, let's look out for the boot now. What about the size of the boot? Is this a practical car? Yes, as you can see, I can fit a full-size dustbin over here. Okay, tons of bags here. My stuff that I want to send for recycling. Yeah, so I have a lot of stuff here because some of them is meant for recycling. Okay, for a compact car, this car is pretty okay for the boot size. I've used this car to travel back to my wife's hometown in Penang with a kid. When you have a kid, you have to put on tons of stuff in the car. You have to what have to bring? You have to bring your diapers. You have to bring your the toys and all that. So yeah, it's pretty okay, pretty decent. Okay, so let's start. I use the touch and go to come in, so you may want to use that to get up later.
Okay.
So first comment from Jin Yao, feels very familiar.
Yes, it does.
So we're gonna get him to try out the car first and to see really is there any difference. Feel free to just step on it, it doesn't matter. Okay.
Okay.
It's rare that this car get to be stepped on anyway. Yeah, my wife drives very gentle, so she doesn't drive very harsh with the car. Not like me. Okay, it's a bit shaky here. Can you press the toggle? I just want to see how much fuel left because I don't have much.
1 bar.
Yeah, 1 bar. I want to see the range.
The range?
Yeah, the range only. Yep,
104.
That's good enough.
Hey, 1 bar just can go 104. My 1 bar is about 70.
Because previously it's my wife who drove. So she's very gentle with the throttle and all that. I don't know, for some reason I feel that although I don't drive that fast also, but I feel my fuel consumption is always higher than her. When she drove the Iris, for a while that time when I was still having my old Myvi, and after we got the new Myvi, so I passed the Myvi to her. What happened was that, well, I think the meter shows maybe around 8 kilometer per 100 liter. Sorry, what was the measurement already? 8 liter per 100 kilometer. Yes.
Okay.
Then after that, I thought, okay, I can be better than her. But as I drive, she got 7.5 liter per 100 kilometers. Then I took over and I thought I can be better than her, since I'm a more car guy thing.
Yeah.
But when I start driving, I tell you the number straight away went up. My best was around 7.9. That's best already. I'm really driving very gentle. Don't step on it. See the cars. Calm down. Just. It's very different. But does your phone connect to the head unit with the USB here?
No, I use the USB. I plug a thumb drive in with
yeah.
So I don't use that for
same.
Yeah.
The phone doesn't connect to the head unit. Actually, I wish they had it though.
nowadays, because all the phones is like you know, you can connect to the head units and all that.
Yep.
I really hope that they actually can have like, you know, just plug in, then you don't have to you purposely buy another pen drive just to do that.
Yes, it will be so much more straightforward lah.
Correct. So let's hope that we can see that in the facelift lah, some improvement. Usually the first batch, first gen and all that, that's the problem they have. Sometimes they put in things that they think is okay, but when it comes to the consumer who use it, then we realize, that's not so good, you know. Then they go and fix it up in the facelift version. That day I was just telling my colleagues, you know, because some issues with some of the cars my company is making right now.
Yep.
So, but like joking internally, say, hey, never buy cars, first batch one, is always the the user is always the guinea pig.
The lab rat.
Yeah, correct. Because then after we get the feedback from users, then what happens is that we will do correction in the following, you know, batches and all that. Yeah. So of course it's nice to be I'm the first owner of this particular car and also so and all, but really reality is that there's a lot of issues with the vehicle. There's just too many components inside, too many things inside that you really don't know what can go wrong. Even the QC itself will have problem because there's the first time they are checking the vehicle. They thought this is the correct top, tightening here and there, but at the end they found out it's not correct. They need it more, they need to change the bolts here and there and all that, so many things. So first question is that when you drive the vehicle, do you feel in terms of power wise that does it feel alright?
It feels alright. Definitely different to mine. But I do feel like I'm pressing a little bit more.
You need to press a little bit more just to get the power out, huh?
Correct.
Okay, cool. As expected, I think.
As expected.
But of course, I think in the long run, let's talk about highway driving, you know, long journey and all that. I think your car will perform much better. It should not struggle as much on the highway, especially when you're driving at high speed. Yeah. The 1.3 will struggle, especially at higher speed. But of course, Malaysia is only 110 kilometers per hour on the North-South Expressway.
Yes.
So don't speed,
Yes. Be responsible. Okay. This feels very similar.
Similar, okay. Maybe you want to take some bends at a little bit higher speed just to feel the differences of the handling wise. I think yours should be a little bit better.
It feels different.
Feels different, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. I think I will expect that as well. But let me try out later.
Yeah.
So of course in this segment of vehicle, you don't expect like really super luxurious comfort and all that. But I have to give credits to Proton though, okay? For Myvi, they don't really, you know, do their cars up like, you know, to really feel super comfortable or really soft suspension. But Proton suspension, however, is on a different level. I suppose this is actually due to their previous history with Lotus. So they actually have very good tuning for the suspension. And that's the reason why I still like to drive my car more than my wife's one. Yeah, I can step hard, no worry, go ahead.
Yeah, okay. It's definitely a little bit less power.
A little bit less power, huh? I think on paper it doesn't look that different, you know, but I guess there is a difference when you drive it.
Yeah, I mean, you would think I don't know whether the engine is lighter or not, but I mean, a smaller capacity.
Yep.
With the car, it should. Yeah, what you say,
because this is a non-turbo, so I guess that's why the little bit of difference does feel maybe significant. Yeah. On a turbo vehicle, you probably don't feel anything. And on a turbo vehicle, you should not even look at the CC anymore. It doesn't make sense.
Right.
Yeah, I always feel these cars, the major thing is that, you know, it's like you do need to step a bit more just to get the power out of it.
Yes. I'm getting the impression I need to push a little bit more to get to the average speed that I like. A normal driving speed.
By the way, this engine is the same engine that you're getting in the Beza. Okay, so I test drove the Beza before. Beza is actually a pretty similar story. Okay, it will struggle when you need the power. Okay, but if you're a driver that, you know, just from my house to the market, from my house to the office, I don't use it on the weekend, you know, for a spirited drive, the car is okay. And plus, I think you got a pretty good fuel consumption in your car, right?
Yes, I'm getting about between 14.5 to 15.4 kilometers per liter.
Yeah, so that is actually pretty good fuel consumption. So you will save a lot on your petrol. Not that petrol is expensive now, but eventually it may go up again.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I think it's a pretty good car. If you wish to own and you don't need to worry about reliability issues, then this is the car to go for. Now, of course, if we can find a slightly older Myvi, we will compare that, because I do feel a huge difference in terms of the comfort level of the two cars. Okay, and hopefully we'll be able to share with you that next time if you are keen to know. Well, I gotta show you this. See, my friend, still keep the plastic on, so nice.
That's the first part that gets scratched, right?
Yeah, true.
So I'm a bit paranoid.
True, same, you know. I know, for my case, I like to keep these plastics on. All these. Yeah.
That one I couldn't help. My family took it off. Touch and Go is down there. I'm using the Smart Tag, the built-in Smart Tag, so it's down there.
You have a built-in Smart Tag?
Yeah, it's over there, the scanner. I discovered the hard way, because I accidentally went over there. I went through a door, like, oh shit.
I see. That's very cool.
Yeah,
so,
it's built-in.
Oh, yours has a built-in. Okay.
Yep.
There is a difference between yours and mine in this sense then.
Oh yeah.
Mine doesn't have.
Oh yeah, I didn't
Mine
notice it
doesn't
just now.
have.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay,
you're right.
okay.
Yeah, luckily the hand is long enough.
Only thing is that when putting it back in is a bit finicky.
Yeah,
that's the only thing.
Right.
The issue, I don't know.
Okay, I'm just gonna leave it out first.
No worries.
We're gonna use it
Put
later.
the glove box, the side box. Yeah. And yeah, as usual, feel free to whack.
Yeah.
Because I also drive it like that. It's fun.
Thank you. But really, the one thing I feel immediately huge difference is throttle. This one is like ready to go. That one, the one that I have, is a bit lazy. Yeah, this one feels really like it's okay, it's ready to go. So like you said just now,
Yep.
if you test drove the 1.3 variant, you might not have bought it.
Yeah, I might not consider this.
True. Now I understand why. Because that's the thing, a lot of people, they were test driving the 1.5, then if let's say they go buy 1.3 because of price factor or whatever it is, then they will realize there's a huge difference in terms of performance. So, let's keep this down. Yeah, this is like so ready to go. Okay. Of course, I think we don't throttle like that all the time, but just like a normal driving, I really can feel the difference. So I think I'll recommend the 1.5 as well. Okay.
I suppose if you're like purely in the city all the time, okay lah. I understand the 1.3.
Correct.
I understand the use.
But if you're traveling a little bit long distance, semi-medium long, maybe like for myself, I need to go from Kepung to Puchong. Sometimes you need to hit the highway and all that. Probably the 1.5 will be a little bit better choice.
Yeah, agreed. Same here lah. Like for me, it's from here EJ to Sri Kamala. So highways, a bit of highways here and there.
Yeah.
It does make a difference. You can see.
In terms of the suspension, I guess it's the same. Yeah, it feels very similar. I would have thought that with the slightly bigger rims that your suspension might be a bit harsher, but actually it doesn't feel so. It's about the same.
You can try on that strip I tried this.
Okay. Oh, this is so much nicer to drive. Seriously. Gotta sell the 1.3.
Hello, what have I done?
Okay, it's my wife that's gonna scold me.
Where'd you get yours from? Which showroom?
This showroom?
Just
Hey, is it? No. It was
not this one. It was the one in SS2 there.
SS2.
Yeah. You know, as you go out here, there's an SS2.
The main one, that's DMM.
Yes, DMM.
DMM. Okay.
Because when I came here, they, how to say, they're like a bit reluctant to choy me, you know. Because the time it was the GS, the tax-free period. So they were loaded with people. So they're like, oh, you want to do train? Can, but you have to bring your car here. Bring my car here. Can your people come to my place? Because actually that time I was working in Renault.
Yeah.
So it's very near. So I asked, can you just go over there? It's not that far.
Yeah.
Then I said, oh, then you have to wait. Wait. Okay. So when I went to the DMM one, then they told me like, yeah, sure, we can send people over to you, no problem. When you want it.
That makes a difference, right?
Yes, exactly.
It really makes a difference,
Exactly.
right? Because I had the same experience for the other brand I went to. I went there, I brought my car. Like, okay, I want to trade this in.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the Iris or a Saga. The time Saga just came out.
Okay.
So then the salesman was like,
the Geely one.
yeah. The salesman was like, oh, okay, cool. Oh, you want to trade in? Okay, let's see your car first. Okay, fine, I'll show you my car. My car. This one cannot sell. You need to sell it yourself. Then you come back and look for me again like that.
Oh, like that one.
Whoa, like that.
Definitely don't want to buy lor.
Okay, thank you, bye bye.
Yeah, that's it lah.
That's it lor.
So interesting customer service level.
Right? Then,
Yes.
Whereas the Perodua guy was like, oh, you want to sell this? This car's a bit hard to sell. Okay, honestly tell you, this car's a bit hard to sell. But if we lower the price a bit, I can get rid of it for you. Okay, fine.
That's what we want, right?
That's all I want to hear.
Yes. We already know the car is hard to sell. We know because we own the car.
Yeah. True. But anyway, mine was the uptown one.
Okay, you went to uptown there.
Then later I found out that showroom actually is one of the most hardworking ones. They sell like 600 a month.
Oh, really?
That's what the salesman was telling me. Combine all of them, they sell about 600 a month. This was before MCO.
Okay, here's my wording. On the cornering, I think yours is just a little bit more less rolling compared to mine. Less body roll, a little bit.
Okay.
You really can't feel it unless you really like compare it side by side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One after the other.
Correct. Mine, I have a bit of a problem, especially when I'm seated at the rear. Then next time you have kids, you'll sit at the rear also. So when I sit at the rear,
okay,
the major thing I find is that my wife doesn't drive like bad lah. She drives pretty docile, say very tame one. But I also feel like not comfortable, because the body roll is quite high. Yeah, it's quite high, and because now just now I did mention that the what do you call that? The suspension for the older generation of Myvi is more softer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Of course, a lot of people complain body roll, but I feel because it's softer, it's much more comfortable for the rear passenger. Because I also used to sit at the rear as well for that car. Not so bad. But for this one, because it's a little bit harsher, they try to make it a little bit sportier. So when you sit at the back, plus the body roll is still quite high, the effect is
amplified a little bit.
Yes. So that's why nowadays I don't really sit at the rear as much as my previous. Now I just tell my daughter, okay, sit at the back yourself. I'm gonna sit in front with mommy. Cannot tahan. And my wife, someone who has car sickness, she also, especially when I sit at the back, she is having it worse. Because of the body roll, because of the suspension, plus me. Because I drive quite hard at the time.
Quite similar scenario.
So your wife is also the gentler driver.
Yep.
Okay. So for the 1.5H version, and as well as I believe the 1.5AV version, okay, so you will have the integrated touch and go reader here. Okay, so it's located here, and then you have a sensor over here. Okay, so if let's say you have not opted in for the RFID yet, so this is the other solution for you. You still can have something like a smart tag thing, okay, already installed in your car. And the opening and closing of this thing is different, okay. This thing has a metal, something like a magnet strip here. So when it closes, feels better. For the 1.3, it's just like a hook, so it's not so nice. Okay, just to give you guys a slightly closer up look for the tires. Okay, now come on a standard on this the 1.5H variant is the Goodyear tire. Okay, so they do get a Goodyear as a standard, whereas for the 1.3, okay, they are actually spec up with the Bridgestone tire. So whether which tire is better is hard to tell, okay, but there is of course a difference in terms of the size. Okay, so you can see here, so this is the 1.5/55 15-inch rims, okay, so slightly wider, whereas compared to this one, okay, let me try to find where is the okay, so here it is. It's a 1.75/65 14-inch rim, so slightly thinner. So if you have no idea the difference between the two, you can check out my video that I mentioned on the tires, you know, what are the differences. So I assume that the 1.75 here is spec into this particular vehicle to make it more fuel efficient, okay, because the rim doesn't look that great. Okay, so easily you can swap out this, no issue, but there's the biggest thing that you can't swap out is the engine itself. So this is a 1.3 engine, 1.5 engine. So just now we have tried it both side by side, back to back. The 1.5 definitely feels much eager to go. I would recommend this highly because it drives so much better. You know, the car doesn't feel like it's lazy, doesn't want to go, especially when you're driving on the uphill and all that. The 1.5 will perform a little bit better, and when you use your car frequently to drive a lot of people, let's say you need to carry passenger, family and all that, 1.5 will perform significantly better.
So we just finished the shot between the two Myvis. Okay, so now back in the 1.3, and just as an afterthought, I would like to add on is that Myvi has been the top seller in Malaysian automotive scene because the previous gen Myvi is a very reliable car. You know, you can hardly find any issues with it. The only major issue that I've known with it is that the aircon, okay, so the compressor does give out after some time, then you need to replace that, but other than that, really the car has not much of an issue. So that is what led to the success of the next generation of Myvi, which is what we are driving today. Okay, but whether it will continue to be that reliable or not, that remains to be seen. Okay, but of course I do hope that they carry on the mantra that this vehicle will be the most dependable vehicle in the whole market, you know, at the same time being affordable, so that everybody can own one and can drive one. Okay, so guys, just my final word here, please subscribe to us and share this video with your friends as usual. Subscribe to Untitled Speed, and so that we can create more amazing contents for you. Okay, so we have even more interesting topics coming up that I've already prepared, so hopefully we'll see the video soon. Okay, thank you guys, thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.